Chapter 1, Social Psychology, the science of the social side of life. Consider for a moment what aspect of your life impacts your health and happiness most. Did your relationships with other people come to mind? What would your life be like without your family, friends, roommates, romantic partners, professors, co-workers, sports, teammates, all the people you care about and with whom you interact? The truth is, human beings are truly social species. Each of us is connected to and influenced by other people, even if we are not always consciously aware of all the ways we are affected by them. Indeed, a fundamental message of social psychology is that both the good and the bad in our lives involve other people. As evidenced in the following quotations, people from all cultures and walks of life agree that our connections to others bring happiness and meaning to our lives. At the same time, we also know that other people, when they disagree with us, exclude us, or harm us, can be the source of our worst pain. The Dalai Lama. Our prime purpose in this life is to help others. John Lennon, former musician with the Beatles. Count your age by friends, not years. Martin Luther King Jr. Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? Bob Marley, famous reggae musician. Truth is, everybody is going to hurt you. You just gotta find the ones worth suffering for. David Byrne, musician formerly of the Talking Heads. Sometimes it's a form of love just to talk to somebody that you have nothing in common with and still be fascinated by their presence. Robert Allen Silverstein, author and social change activist. In our hectic, fast paced, consumer driven society, it's common to feel overwhelmed, isolated, and alone. The sense of belonging we feel when we make the time to take an active role in our communities can give us deeper sense of meaning and purpose. Connecting with others both as individuals as a part of social groups is a major predictor not only of happiness and well-being but also of physical health. Robert Putnam summed up the importance of social connections based on extensive research reported in his book Bowling Alone. If you belong to no groups but decide to join one, you cut your risk of dying over the next year in half. If you had any lingering doubts about the importance of social side of life, perhaps you don't anymore. We also know that solitary confinement is so bad for mental health that it is often considered cruel and unusual punishment. Try for a moment to imagine life in total isolation from others as shown in the movie Outcast, Castaway. The story of a person who find himself stranded on an uninhabited island after his plane crashes in the Pacific Ocean. After a while, he craves human company so much that he paints a face on a volleyball, gives it a name, Wilson, and talks with it regularly because it is his only friend. In the end, the character played by Tom Hanks decides that his life alone is not worth living, and so he risks all in an attempt to return to civilization and connect with living people again. While we know that many people find the thought of physically isolated existence to be disturbing, let's consider disconnection from others. On a smaller digital scale, try to remember the last time you forgot your cell phone or lost access to Facebook, Twitter, or other social media outlets. How did it feel to be out of contact? Did it freak you out? Perhaps that is why it won't be surprising to learn that even these digital forms of connection to others help to satisfy your emotional needs. For example, research shows that among college students, the number of Facebook friends predicts life satisfaction. It's safe to say then that social contact is a central aspect of our lives. In a very basic sense, it's It helps define who we are and the quality of our existence. So, get ready for a fascinating journey because the social side of life is the focus of this entire book. Social psychology is the branch of psychology that studies all aspects of our social existence. Everything from love and helping people on the one hand to prejudice, exclusion, and violence on the other. Social psychologists also investigate how groups influence us, how the social context we find ourselves in affects the way we make decisions, and how we explain ourselves and the actions of other people. As you will see, how we think about ourselves at any given point in time. Our identity is shaped by our relationships with other people, which in turn guides our social behavior. We will be addressing some questions you have probably thought about already. After all, the nature of the social world is of interest to all of us. But we believe that some of the answers concerning human social behavior that has emerged from social psychological research will nevertheless surprise and intrigue you. Social psychology covers a lot of territory, much of what's central to human experience. What differentiates social psychology from other social sciences it is its focus on explaining influence on individuals' thoughts and behavior. What differentiates social psychology from informal observations of the people that we all make is its scientific nature. What we mean by science of social psychology is so crucial that we will explain it in this chapter in terms of different techniques that are used by social psychologists to go about answering fascinating questions about the social side of life. We begin with a formal definition of social psychology, what it is and what it seeks to accomplish. Next, we will describe several current trends in social psychology. This will be reflected throughout this book. So, knowing about them at the start will help you understand why they are important. We will also examine the pros and cons of different methods used by social psychologists to answer questions about the social side of life. A working knowledge of these basic methods will help you understand how social psychologists aid to our understanding of social thoughts and behavior, and will also be useful to you outside the context of this course to evaluate research findings you read about in major media outlets. In fact, social psychological research has uncovered so much useful information about human behavior that in September 2015, President Obama issued an executive order requiring federal government agencies to incorporate behavioral science insights, much of it based on social psychological research concerning factors that affect how people actually go about making decisions, into their programs. As you will see, social psychologists have accumulated an impressive body of knowledge about how people think, feel, and behave, along with the circumstances that influence those responses. Indeed, social psychological research has taught us much about the human animal that is being fruitfully applied in numerous domains. These include understanding of how people make use of digital technology and the social media and how people can best cope with the adversity to making it easier for low income teens to attend college and adults to participate in retirement saving plans consistent with the White House Social and Behavioral Sciences Team report. We believe that social psychological research informs us about how reforms can be made with the aim of improving people's lives. Given the empirical and scientific approach used by social psychologists to uncover what works and what doesn't work, we think you will see why this branch of psychology is well placed to provide answers to many questions. 1.1, Social Psychology, what it is and is not. Objective: evaluate the diverse topics that social psychology seeks to understand. Providing a definition of almost any field is a complex task. In case of social psychology, this difficulty is increased by the field broad scope. As you will see in every chapter of this book, social psychologists truly have a wide range of interest. Yet, despite this variation, most focus mainly on the following tasks. Understanding how and why individuals behave, think, and feel as they do in social situations. Once involving the actual or symbolic presence of other people, how people define themselves and others in a given situation can alter how we behave. Accordingly, we define social psychology as the scientific field that seeks to understand the nature and the causes of individual behavior, feelings, and thoughts in social situations. Another way to put this is to say that social psychology investigates the ways in which our thoughts, feelings, and actions are influenced by the social environment in which we find ourselves by other people or our thoughts and about them. We will now clarify this definition by taking a closer look at several of its key aspects. 1.1.1 Social psychology is scientific in nature. Many people seem to believe that this term science applies only to fields such as chemistry, physics, and biology, ones that use the kind of equipment shown in figure. To investigate some of aspects of this physical world, if you share that view, you may find our suggestion that social psychology is scientific discipline perplexing. How can a field that seeks to study the nature of love, the causes of aggression, the influence of groups on conception of ourselves, and many other topics be scientific in the same sense as a physics or chemistry? The answer is surprisingly simple. The term science does not refer to a special group of highly advanced fields, rather, it refers to two things. First, a set of values, and second, methods that can be used to study a wide range of topics. In deciding whether a given field is or is or not scientific, therefore, the critic's question is, does it adopt these values and methods? To the extent the field does, it is scientific in nature. To the extent it does not, it falls outside the realm of science. We will examine the procedures used by social psychologists in their research in detail in later section. So here we will focus on the core values that all fields must adopt to considered scientific in nature. Four of these are most important. First, accuracy. A commitment to gathering and evaluating information about the world, individual social behavior, in as careful, precise, and error free a manner as possible. This means that casual people watching that each of us might do at crowded event will not meet this definition. Each of us may focus on different things, so there is a little precision, and the observations will lack replicability. Replicability. The same findings, when performed by someone else, may not be obtained. Second, objectivity. A commitment to obtain and evaluating such information in a manner that is as free from bias as possible. This means that with the casual people watching, we may evaluate what we see differently than others would. So, out observation like objectivity. Skepticism. A commitment. Third point, skepticism. A commitment to accepting findings as accurate only to the extent they have been verified over and over again. Here again, you should notice the importance of replication, where different investigators can reproduce the procedure used by others and arrive at the same conceptual conclusions. Open mindedness. A commitment to changing one's views, even those that are strongly held, if existing evidence suggests that these views are inaccurate. So, social psychologists have produced plenty of surprises by conducting research, which has required us to reconsider the role of groups for our well being. How many processes operate non consciously, how the framing of issues can affect our attitudes and preferences, and why what actually makes people happy is often different than our expectations of what will do so. All of these have suggested revisions in assumptions about human nature. Social psychology as a field is committed to these values and applies them in its efforts to understand the nature of social behavior. In contrast, fields that are not scientific, make assertions about the world and about people that are not put to the careful test and analysis required by the values that guide social psychology. In such fields, ones like astrology and aromatherapy, intuition, faith in unobservable forces are considered to be sufficient for reaching conclusions, the opposite of what is true in social psychology. But why adopt scientific approach? Isn't social psychology just common sense? Having taught for many years, we can almost hear you asking this question. After all, we all spend much of our lives in interacting with other people and thinking about them. So, in a sense, we are all amateur social psychologists. So, why don't we each just rely on our own experience and intuition as a basis for drawing conclusions about social side of life? Our answer is straightforward. Because such sources provide an inconsistent and unreliable guide to understanding social behavior. This is so because our own experiences are unique and may not provide a solid foundation for answering general questions such as why do people sometimes go along with the group even when they might disagree with what it is doing, and how can we know what other people are thinking or feeling at any given time. In addition, as we have learned from social psychology research, people are often unaware of what influences them. Individuals also may be able to generate theories about how they are or are not influenced by other people, but such common sense beliefs are often biased by wishful thinking. For example, as we suggested, we might want to view ourselves as independent and to fail to see how we are actually influenced by other people. Or alternatively, we might want to believe a certain kind of change is possible, so we claim to have been influenced by others who share our views, perhaps more than we actually are. It is also the case that there are widely endorsed ideas about various aspects of a social life that are inconsistent with each other. Only objective research evidence can provide clear answers about which of such contradictory ideas are true. For instance, consider the following statement: absence makes the heart grow fonder. When people are separated from those they love, they miss them and may experience increased longing for them. Many people would agree with this idea, in part of because they can retrieve an instance like that from their own memory. But now consider the following statement: out of sight, out of mind. Is this idea true? Did you, after leaving your high school sweetheart and swearing undying love, find a new romantic interest fairly quickly upon arriving at college? Many popular songs advocate just that. For instance, Crosby, Stills, Nasha and Young songs. If you can't be with the one you love, love the one you are with. As you can see, these two views, both suggested by common sense and popular culture, are contradictory. The same is true for many common sense and popular culture are contradictory for many other informal observations that about human behavior. They each seem plausible but often imply opposite conclusion. How about this? Two heads are better than one, and too many cooks spoil the broth. One suggests that when people work together, they perform better. Example, make better decisions. The other suggests that when people work together, they may act in a ways that actually harm the product. Example, that they make worse decisions. Much careful systematic research has revealed that whether groups shows better or worse performance than individuals depends on a variety of factors. The nature of the task, whether the work can be effectively divided up, the expertise of the group members, and how well information is shared among them. By now, our main point should be clear. Common sense often suggests confusing and inconsistent picture of human behavior. Yet it can offer intriguing hypothesis that can be tested in controlled research. What it doesn't tell us is when various principles or generalization hold. For instance, does absence make the heart grow fonder? Primarily among the relationships that have already attained a certain level of fonder. Primarily among the relationships that have attained certain level of commitment. Likewise, it doesn't tell us from for whom or the sort of relationships. Out of sight, out of mind is most likely to occur. Only scientific approach that examines social thought and behavior in different contexts and populations can provide that kind of information. And this is one basic reason that social psychologists put their faith in the scientific method. It yields more conclusive evidence. In fact, you will soon see it is designed to help us to determine not just which of the opposite sets of predictions mentioned earlier is correct, but also when, for whom, and why one or the other might apply. But this is not only reason for not relying on common sense. As we will note over and over again, our thinking is subject to several types of biases that can lead us badly astray. Here is one example. Think back over major projects on which you have worked in the past. Now try to remember two things. Your initial estimates about how long it would take you to complete these jobs and how long it actually took. Is there a gap between these two numbers? In all likelihood, because most of us fall victim of the planning fallacy. There is a strong tendency to believe that projects will take less time than they actually do, or alternatively, that we can accomplish more in a given period of time than is really true. Moreover, we fall victim to this bias in our thoughts over and over again, despite repeated experiences that tell us everything takes longer than we think it will. Why are we subject to this kind of error? Research by social psychologists indicates that part of the answers involves a tendency to think about the future when we are estimating how long a job will take. This prevents us from remembering how long similar tasks took in the past, and that in turn leads us to underestimate the time we need now. This is just one of the many ways in which we can and often do make errors in thinking about other people. Because we are prone to such errors in our thinking about the social world, we cannot rely on introspecting about influence on us or rely on common sense to solve the mysteries of social behavior. Rather, we need scientific evidence about what most people do, whether they realize that they do so or not. And providing such evidence is, in essence, what social psychology is all about. 1.1.2 Social psychology focuses on the behavior of individuals. Societies vary greatly in terms of their overall level of violence. Yet, social psychology focuses on explaining why individuals perform aggressive actions or refrain from doing so. Such acknowledgement of cultural differences apply to virtually all other aspects of social behavior, from conformity to helping, love as well as conflict, but aspects of a social behavior, from conformity to helping, love as well conflict, but social psychology aims to address the thought and emotional processes underlying social psychology underlying those actions in individuals. This means that, as we noted earlier, because none of us are islands, and all of us instead are strongly influenced by other people and the situations we find ourselves in, much research will systematically examine cultural and other contextual factors to illuminate just how those influences are exerted on the individual. Social psychologists examine how groups influence individual behavior, how culture becomes internalized and affects individual preferences, and how emotions and moods affect the decision made by individual. Although our emphasis will be on how social factors affect the individual. As you will see throughout this book, many non social factors can exert powerful effects on us, often by influencing our emotions and social thoughts. The field's major interest lies in the understanding just how social situations shape the actions of individuals. Clearly, this does not mean that the role of that social and cultural factors play in shaping the individual is neglected. Far from it. For example, considerable research has begun to address how ethnicity and social class shape ourselves, whether we construe it as independent from other or as interdependent with them. And consequently, social behavior, this means that some institutional settings will be experienced as friendly or more congenial for one type of self rather than the other. For example, American universities tend to promote an independent model of self, which is more consistent with a middle class standard of behavior than the self that is formed as a result of growing up in a working class environment, in part because of differences in material resources. Students from middle class homes are encouraged to leave home, develop their own distinct interests, and choose their own pathway in life. In contrast, those from working class backgrounds are more likely to live in the same place most of their lives, be more strongly embedded in familial and local social networks, and feel a need to fit in by displaying concerns for the interest of others because of the different life experiences and selves that emerge among those whose social class origins differs. The norms prevalent in American university settings can be good or rather poor cultural match. What is what this research reveals is how life experiences, which differ systematically according to social class and other group memberships, affect the individual because who we are, our identities affect our thoughts and behavior. Social psychological understandings of individual is enriched by close examination of the following links: social context, experiences, self identities, social behavior. 1.1.3 Social psychology seeks to understand the causes of social behavior. Social psychologists are primarily interested in understanding the many factors and conditions that shape the social thought and behavior of individual, their actions, feelings, beliefs, memories, and judgments. Obviously, a huge number of variables can play a role, although most fall under the five major headings described here. First, the actions and characteristics of other persons. Consider the following events. You are at party and you notice that a very attractive person is smiling at you. In fact, this person is looking at you in way that leaves a little room for interpretation. That person is sending a clear signal saying, "Hey, you look good." You return from class one day and as you approach the door to your dorm room, you see a friend of yours is sitting on the floor looking very down. You stop to ask if she is okay and you see that she's been crying. Will these actions of others have any effect on your own emotions, thoughts and behavior? Very likely. If you two are interested in potential romance, you may be very pleased when you see someone looking at you in a "let's get to know each other" kind of way. And you may then go over and say hi. When you see that your friend has been crying, you are likely to ask what happened and sit down to provide her with some comfort while you listen to her story. Instances like these, where we observe other people and respond to them, indicate that other people's emotional expressions often have powerful impact upon us. In addition, we are also often affected by others' appearance. Be honest, don't you behave differently toward highly attractive person than toward less attractive ones? Toward very old people compared to young ones? Toward people who belong to your own ethnic group compared to ones different from your own? Your answer to this question is probably yes, because we do often react to others' visible characteristics such as their appearance. In fact, research findings indicate that we cannot ignore others' appearance even when we consciously try to do so. So, despite warning to avoid judging books by their covers, we are often strongly affected by other people group memberships as indicated by appearance. Even if we are unaware of such effects, it might deny their existence. Interestingly, research findings indicate that relying on others' appearance as a guide to their characteristics is not always wrong. In fact, they can be relatively accurate, especially when we can observe others' behavior spontaneously rather than in posed photos. Cognitive process, second one. Suppose that you have arranged to meet a friend and this person is late. In fact, after 30 minutes, you begin to suspect that your friend will never arrive. Finally, she or he does appear and says, "Sorry, I forgot all about my meeting you until a few minutes ago." How will you react? Probably you will feel some annoyance. Imagine that instead, however, your friend says, "I am sorry to be late. There was a big accident and the traffic was tied up for miles." Now, how will you react? Perhaps you will feel less annoyance, but not necessarily. If your friend is often late and has used this excuse before, you may be suspicious about whether this explanation is true. In contrast, if this is the first time your friend has been late, or if your friend has never used such an excuse in the past, you may accept it as true. In other words, your reactions in these situations will depend upon your memories of your friend's past behavior and your inference about whether her or his explanation is really true. Situations like these one call attention to the fact that cognitive processes play a crucial role in the social behavior. We try to make sense of people in our social world by attributing their actions to something about them. Example, their traits, or something about the circumstances. Example, unforeseeable traffic. This means we engage in lots of social cognition, thinking long and hard about other people, what they are like, why they do what they do, how they might react to our behavior, and so on. Social psychologists are well aware of the importance of such processes, and social cognition is a very important area of research. Environmental variables impact of the social of the physical world. Sorry. Second point A, environmental variables impact of the physical world. Do we become more irritable and aggressive when the weather is hot and steamy than when it is cooler and more comfortable? Does simply seeing money, does exposure to a pleasant smell in the air make people more helpful to others? Does simply seeing money, such as a picture of a dollar bill, interface with our ability to enjoy small pleasures in life like the taste of chocolate? Research findings indicate that aspects of the physical environment can indeed influence our feelings, thoughts, and behavior. So, these variables too certainly fall within the realm of modern social psychology.